Hi there, it's Craig here. Well, got a couple taste tests for you today. You have to excuse me, I got a little bit of allergies going on, but it's nothing major. Just a little bit stuffed up, but nothing big. I can still taste and smell and everything like that, so we're good. I was a little worried actually this morning when I woke up that I wasn't going to be able to do this, but I'm fine. So we're going to taste test two home brews today. One is the dark ale, the Cooper's Dark Ale that I did quite a while ago. And when I did my taste test video on that, I kegged it, and I took a taste test out of the keg. And it was amazing. A beautiful head on it, nice flavor, great beer. But here we have one that's been bottled from the same batch. It's been bottled for about a month now. It's very hard, so I know it's carbonated. It's been sitting down in my basement for all that time. We're going to see how it tastes out of the bottle as opposed to out of the keg. We'll just show a little bit of the kegging tasting right now so you can see what it looked like coming out of there. Oh, let's go. Wow. Okay, so there's a beer. Holy f***. Okay, so you can see that it was, kegs are great. I mean, you guys have to get into kegging. I know I keep saying it. I am preparing to make kegging videos. There's a lot of thought that goes into these things. I want to make sure I do it right, and I've got some stuff to get out of the way before I can do that. So that's the Cooper's Dark Ale that we did in the keg. We're going to taste it out of the bottle. The next thing we're going to do after that is the well, I don't know what you want to call it, whether you want to call it a hard apple cider or whether you want to call it an inmate brew, I'm not sure. But I took some apple juice, you saw the video, we'll just look at a little bit of that right now. Plop a bunch of these in there. Again, I went through them, I sorted them out. Alright, here goes the second can of apple juice. And that's your airlock. If you don't have an airlock, you can use a balloon, a condom. So you saw that video. If you didn't see it, you can go watch it. I used strawberries, no, not strawberries, grapes out of the fridge that were starting to get to the point where they were going to go rotten soon. I used those. I put some fresh apples in. I used my juicer. So it's a little bit of a different cider than just a regular run-of-the-mill apple cider. There are some other flavors in there. I have not tasted this. I don't know how it turned out. It might be terrible. I'm not sure. But first, let's start with the dark ale that I brewed. Cooper's Dark Ale. Tasted great out of the keg. Let's see what it tastes like out of a month-old bottle. Wow. That. Well, it's a little underfilled, which is part of the reason why we got so much gas in there. It's not, it's actually gonna, oh shit. Okay, so we'll put that on while we talk. It's actually a little low, it's only filled to here. And the reason for that is because when I was doing my kegging, the keg was full and I just took the tube out, put it in the bottle, sanitized of course, put the priming sugar in it, and it only filled up to there. So when you don't fill your bottles properly, when you don't fill them up, you know, all the way, or at least a finger's width or two from the top, you are going to get you may get overcarbonation, which it looks like what I've got here is overcarbonation. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. Let's just give it a pour. I'm going to give this a gentle pour because I have a feeling that we don't need to do a vigorous one. Oh boy. Well, I know somebody who's going to like that. A little aggressive, a little too... we'll let it settle for a bit. It looks like it's settling down fairly rapidly. It's very, very nice head retention, very frothy, velvety. I don't know the word for it. Very dark. I mean, I can see through the bottom a little bit. It is very clear, but it's very dark. So I'm gonna try it here and see what we got. Wow. There's something to be said for aging beer, that's for sure. I mean, really. When I put this in the keg, it was straight out of the fermenter. 7 days fermenting in the keg, couple days, let it clear out a bit. And I thought it was good then, but man, you know what? This is amazing. I feel like I'm drinking a chocolate milkshake. It's very chocolatey. It's been aging, so like I said, there's something to be said about aging a beer, and I'm very impressed with this. This is amazing. It has a really chocolatey kind of flavor. The carbonation is fine. It's a small bubbly carbonation. It's not, the bubbles aren't really big like pop, soda pop. The head has settled down into more of a frothy head. There is some lacing there. I hope you can see that since we're all talking about lacing these days. It's the big topic of the week or the month. It is there out of a can of malt extract, bottled beer. We are getting some fairly good lacing there and a decent head retention. So if you're going to brew the Cooper's Dark Ale, let it sit for a month in the bottles if you are going to bottle it. And even if you're going to keg it, I would recommend a secondary fermentation in a carboy for maybe a week or two to let it age, because I have to tell you, I'm very surprised. I do not think this tastes like a canned home brew. I'm honest to God. I'm being completely honest with you. This really is good. I mean, I feel like I've gone to the liquor store and bought an import. It does taste pretty good. It's that good. You can, if you don't want to believe me, that's fine. I have no reason to lie. This is what I'm tasting. Wow. Clean finish. Not a lot of aftertaste. If there's any aftertaste, it's more of a chocolate aftertaste. I'm reluctant to go any further because I think so highly of the way this tastes that I'm almost afraid that people are going to think I'm just making it up. So we're going to set this aside. I'm very impressed with that. I don't know what to tell you. It's a can. It's good. I give it a high thumbs up. That's good beer. Now this could be a different story. It's been sitting in the bottle. It fermented for a week. Where I had it fermenting, there's a big spray on the wall where the actually airlock blew out, so it fermented very well. It was a very happy yeast and very happy fermentation. It's been sitting in this bottle but basically what I do is I siphon it from after it's finished fermenting, I freeze it. I put the lid back on the bottle and I freeze it overnight. The next day I thaw it out and I siphon it into another container, a sanitized container, okay? Just to get it off the yeast, off the stuff at the bottom, and then I proceed to bottle it. I got 3 1-liter bottles out of it. Let's get to this. I have a wine glass. I don't know whether it's worthy of a wine glass, but we'll see. So the color, it's got that pinkish color. That's from the grapes. Because it's an apple cider brew, it should not be that color, but because of the grapes I put in, that's why it's like that. It's not clear. That's the next thing I want to work on, is getting this stuff to clear. And I know how to do it. I just have to figure out the best method. And if any of you guys know anything, please tell me. I've also got a couple of forums that I'm in that have also make this stuff. So, this is not, rocket fuel. There are forums there. There's an Australian forum that I'm in right now. I'll put the title at the bottom of the screen. Excellent forum. Excellent forum. There's sections in there for everybody, for all grain brewers, for partial brewers, for kit brewers, for cider brewers. All the sections are in there for you. You're not going to get bashed or blasted when you go in there. I hope. But so far I've had a great experience with that. So I can't smell much out of this one. It smells very strong. as far as the alcohol goes. So let's, ah, boy. This would be absolutely amazing if it was carbonated. It's got a sweetness to it. I checked the specific gravity. It was 1.004. So it did ferment out with the Fleshman's yeast that I added, which isn't ideal, but if you're, you know, if you're stuck, that's what you can use. If you've got access to brewing yeast, then by all means, man, get the best yeast you can get. That makes a big difference. If it was carbonated, man, this would be amazing. It would taste like a, you know, a shandy or a wine cooler. I should have carbonated it. I think there's some residual flavors in there that we could do without. And I think if we could get this thing to be clear, that this would be an excellent beverage, that we would lose those flavors. So that's something I'm going to work on. It's good. It's good. I mean, my wife tasted my last batch, and she's not much for homebrew, really. And she really was surprised at how it tasted. She's not a beer drinker. She's didn't ever like any of my homemade inmate brew stuff. But when she tasted the last cider that I made with just the apple juice, she was quite impressed. So for somebody who's, you know, a bit picky about stuff to like it, I think you're pretty safe to assume it's not a bad drink at all. Well, there you are. So 2 taste tests. This stuff is mean. I will do this again. This is a keeper. But I'm going to do a secondary fermentation. And I know in the past I've talked about that, and I've said, I don't believe in that. I don't think it's necessary. Well, in the case of kegging, it's a good idea. So you give it the let's say 5 or 6 days in the primary, siphon it into a secondary carboy, let it sit for 2 weeks, and then put it in the keg. And I guarantee you, if you do this right, you have an excellent tasting beer here. This is, I'm surprised. Just take a little bit out of here. Now again, I know somebody else is going to like that head. And there's lacing too. So there's a story to be told there, isn't there then? All right. What's coming up? I have, actually I don't even know if I want to mention this right now because I want it to be a surprise, but I have acquired access to some ingredients that I normally wouldn't have access to. That's all I'm going to say. You know, I'm not going to go all grain right now. It's not in the cards for me right now. This here, well, I don't know. If you can improve on this, this is out of the, I don't know. It's pretty amazing. I will not abandon this method of brewing by any means. However, I owe it to my viewers to give them the full story, and that's what I will do as much as I can. I'm not going to be an all-grain brewer, but I will be doing some different things, and that's what we're going to see in the future, very near future. Okay, so I appreciate you watching. We're just having some fun, aren't we? Take care, guys. Cheers. Which one? Bye. See ya.